So, welcome to Chasing Whiskey.
Welcome to Chasing Whisky. This is our first episode. I'm Terry.
I'm James.
That's a nice watch, by the way.
Yeah, thank you. Nice shirt.
Thank you. So 2020 was pretty tough, so we decided we'd take up drinking.
Yes, COVID has been a difficult challenge, but some good has come out of COVID, and we've decided that we want to learn about whiskey, and we don't know anything really about it. We've gotten to know a few bottles over the course of the year, and are just starting to take a real interest. So we're going to drink for you.
Yeah, and hopefully as we learn, because like James said, we don't know much, we'll share our learnings, and maybe some of you guys can help us learn a bit in the comments and what have you. And this should be a fun journey. We expect that over time we'll gain a little bit of knowledge and hopefully drink a lot of great bottles.
Yes. So what do we have today?
So today,
this is our very first bottle.
First bottle, it's the Glenlivet 12.
Ah, cool. We should say we haven't read the bottle, the box, or anything. We haven't looked at it. Partially because I forgot my glasses, and we don't want to bias. We want to test our palates and see how accurate we are.
Yeah, sure. I'm sure our palates are horrible. But
so
hopefully they'll get better.
So right now we're picking bottles, and Terry, you bought this one.
Yeah, I did.
So I really know nothing about this, and I'm guessing you bought it because you like the look of the box.
I bought it because it was on sale.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. All right, let's. It's nice packaging. I think that goes a long way for someone that doesn't know anything about whiskey.
Yeah. I always like it when the bottle is in a box or one of the tubes. I just find it adds a level of sophistication, kind of like the wine with the cork versus the wine with the screw top. I know
absolutely.
Sometimes wine with screw top actually has a better shelf life, but there's something about the presentation to me that's important, and I think that's one of the small things.
And I'd have to say I prefer a tube. There's something.
Yeah, there's something about the tube, isn't there? It's. I like the box.
What she said.
But the tube is nice.
Cut that in.
No, we can keep it. It's all right. Yeah.
All right. So you do you want to do the unboxing or?
Sure.
Okay.
All right.
Let's see what this bad boy looks like.
All right.
Glenlivet.
Oh, look at this.
Ooh.
It's a bag.
I have not seen a bag.
Look at that. Fancy. Very impressive. All right, so I was kind of like complaining about the box not a tube, but I think this just...
It levels up. Definitely nice job, Glenlivet.
Very green glass. There we go.
Yeah, that is a pretty bottle.
Very pretty bottle. Very pretty bottle indeed.
Very nice presentation. It's hard to see what the color is because it's the green glass.
Yeah, I would agree. Not that that's a problem. We'll figure out the color very soon when we pour it.
Now, I see a problem already.
What's the problem?
We need a knife. Do you have a...
No, you don't. Look.
Oh, is there a thing? I find glasses.
I think we already established that you were missing the glasses, right? All right, let's put this back behind us so it's not... changing our focus.
All right.
And now what do we do with this?
Well, that's probably
there.
Garbage, but we need our glasses.
You forgot your glasses.
The drinking glasses. And you forgot those too.
That's all right. There is always a solution. You forgot your glasses. I forgot my glasses. It's all right. All right.
Well,
so I think on the nose, it's going to smell like coffee.
Hints of coffee. All right.
But that's okay.
Okay, so
this will get us through the first episode.
That's right.
All right, shall I open it?
Yep.
All right, let's do this. There we go.
Is there a cork in it? Oh, it's nice. I like that. Yeah. Okay. Should you smell the bottle first? I don't know if that's a whiskey thing or a... Okay. You're supposed to glug your whiskey?
I don't know. We're going to learn, aren't we?
Okay.
As long as you can drink it, I don't think it matters, right?
Unfortunately, we still can't really see the color because it's a bit dark in the mug.
This is true. So what should we do? So we definitely should smell it. We should taste it, and maybe...
Well, we should try to describe the color.
Okay. Yep.
It's maybe we'll do that next episode.
But
the smell,
I want to say coffee as a joke, but it actually doesn't have any hints of coffee. If there was coffee left in the mug, it's well destroyed now.
I have to admit, I have no idea what I'm smelling.
I think I smell citrus. And I'm trying not to like read the bottle. I don't think it says anything. No, it says just return for refund.
Okay, I'm gonna cheers.
Oh, yes, cheers. What do you think? First impression.
It's not the best whiskey I've had. Is that a fair thing to say?
Sure. How many whiskeys do you think you've tried?
5.
Okay, I'm probably in the 10 range, maybe 15 at the most, but 10 that I could actually honestly remember. Not that I forgot because I drank too much, but it's like it could have been, you know.
No, it shouldn't. That's unfair. It is very pleasant. It's, you know, I've had a whiskey that was like too peaty.
Yeah.
I didn't have a palate for that yet. I'm kind of hoping I'll develop one.
Yeah, I agree.
I think I like the sweeter whiskeys, and this one might be kind of in the middle.
I'm usually pretty good at like pulling out a flavor or a note or something. I'm not getting that with this, and I wonder if it's just because it's just a little strong. What's the alcohol content? Ooh, it's only 40.
I think it's on the sweetness spectrum. It's not quite halfway, but there is a sweetness.
You're making it sound like you know what you're talking about.
Well, in my mind, I have a spectrum of like super sweet.
I will say the first sip was a bit strong, but I can sense a bit of sweetness coming now. I didn't have that sweetness at first.
Now I'm going for the notes. Let me see if I can detect the notes.
It's tough. I only smell a little bit of citrus.
I think there's a hint of pepper.
Really?
The finish has a bit of
After you've had a sip and smell, you mean?
It's got a bit of a pepper finish. Definitely pepper.
In terms of, I think it's called umami. You know that like savory texture or whatever, like on the tongue, it tends to like stick around.
I got nothing.
No? A little oily?
Should we...
First, have you had this whiskey? It's fairly popular. Apparently it's, you know, pretty much available at most places. So I'm suspecting that if anyone is watching this, you may have tried this already.
It's pretty good. I would enjoy drinking this.
Yeah, let us know if you've had it and what you thought of it, because that'll help us. And let us know if you've tasted certain things or smelled certain things. We will read the box and we'll let you know what the box says. And then my guess is that after we read the box, we'll smell and taste the things all written on the box, because that's the power of suggestion, right?
I think we should probably pour a second and we'll review the bottle to see what we've...
But it's funny, neither one of us had any really strong smells and strong taste. You said a little bit of pepper and sweet. I'm getting a little bit of sweet and a little bit of citrus smell. And a little bit of like an oily finish across the tongue. That's
and maybe,
pretty small amount of descriptions.
Maybe there's something called an easy drinking whiskey?
Maybe. I have had experience before with some whiskeys where it's like predominant taste or a predominant, you know, sweetness. And I don't find that. It's pretty, I guess, balanced maybe is the right word. So, okay, let's take a look at the box.
Tell me what that says. I'll stay here.
Okay. It's a lot about the history and stuff. I'm going to look for tasting notes first before I get into reading the history. So it says Glenlivet, 12-year-old of age, single malt Scotch whiskey. George Smith's definitive legacy. The Glenlivet 12-year-old is
I'd like to have the legacy.
Perfectively?
No, I can't read it.
Perfectly, sorry.
Oh dear.
How many Scotch
he only
have
had
one. Yeah, maybe I need glasses. I obviously need glasses. Perfectly balanced with a lively gold color and playful interlacing of floral and fruit aromas. Neither one of us got floral or fruit at all. I got a little bit of citrus. That's not true. I did get citrus right off the bat.
Get citrus.
I didn't get floral. But that doesn't mean that it's not. It just means that I didn't.
I don't
pick
think
that
I
up.
like floral.
Maybe that's the reason.
And I don't. Yeah, maybe that is what makes it for me.
So pretty limited notes in terms of there's no notes on taste. It's just it says floral and fruit aromas. There's no notes on a taste at all. And the back has just a history of right, and started in 1884.
It's gotta have a pepper finish.
What we may do is maybe we'll do some research online and put it in after the fact, right? So in the notes below.
We can put them in the show notes.
There you go. We don't know how to do that yet, but we'll figure it out.
I've heard that before.
But that's interesting. So yeah, so I did pick up on the fruit, but again, I went to citrus, and citrus is not, it says fruit generically.
Someone at Glenlivet is rolling on the floor right now saying how awful your description is.
That's all right. That's all right. At least they're watching.
Mm.
So, what do you think? Another glass? See if it changes our perception, or give it a minute and then another glass? Water, then another glass? What do you
I think we should have another glass, and we should start our review process. Our formal review process. This is very scientific, empirically based.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, let's do it. Okay, do you want to pour the second one?
Okay.
All right, let's do that. Let's see if he clugs. Oh, look at him. No clugging. Very impressed, James.
It's a little all in the surgeon hands here. Okay, so what is we went through? We did color, smell, taste.
Yeah. Finish.
See. Sight.
Yeah, the bottle, our appreciation of it, what it looks like, the packaging, all that.
Yeah.
And our very formal review process is: would you buy it again?
Ah, that's a very good question.
That's our ratings.
Yes.
Very scientific.
So,
would you buy it again? And if so, why or why not? Regardless.
Well, sorry. Would I buy this again? I would. I think it's like I said before. It's an easy drinking whiskey, and for my new palate, it's very pleasant. Like I said, I've opened a bottle before and felt like, oh boy, that's going to be a long bottle to go through. This, I would sit, watch TV.
And finish the bottle?
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't finish the bottle. But
you could enjoy it over a few nights or a few couple weeks or whatever.
I've also had drinks before where I wouldn't even offer that to a friend.
Because it's too good or because it's too bad? Both?
Smart both. But I was thinking on the bad side.
Okay.
So I have, a couple bottles in my cupboard that are just going to be there until I'm not. This I would happily have as a solid member of a whiskey collection.
Now, what if I told you it was $300? Would that change your mind?
I would, yes.
It wasn't. It was $60 Canadian.
Oh, God.
That's
like $5 US.
Yeah. And yeah, liquors, for those of you not in Canada, it's a little bit overpriced, mostly because of taxes. And the dollar value is obviously significantly different than the US. But yeah, so it's hard pressed to find a whiskey, specifically one in a box, for under $50. Really high.
Yeah, I think that's a lot of value for.
Yeah, $60 is it. I personally would buy it again because it is $60, and I, like you, would be happy to have it on my shelf and happy to share it. Like, it's not to the point where I'm embarrassed to share it, and nor am I.
I think it would be a good Christmas gift because it comes in a nice wrapping paper.
This is true, even though it's not a tube. It the paper did elevate it just a bit for me. That's
nice job, Glenlivet. Now, speaking of Canada, and this is Scotch. This is true Scotch.
Yes, this is Scotch from Scotland, which I think is what you need to be considered as Scotch, right?
Segue. So, we named this channel Chasing Whisky.
Right.
And Terry created Chasing Whisky with a Y, and I had created the logo with an EY. And we kind of debated which is right. So, as part of knowledge here.
I thought I was right. He thought he was.
Apparently, it depends where it was made. So, whiskey that is bottled in Scotland and Canada and I think Japan
right.
are whiskey with a Y.
Yeah.
So
James,
Chasing Whiskey was right.
well, so it's funny because I was assuming that it was the no E was like the Canadian spelling, much like Canadians spell harbor with a U,
Or color.
and neighbor with a U, or color with a U. And then James did the research, and I was very surprised to learn that it actually has nothing to do with the language of where you are, but rather where the whiskey was made, which I thought was really interesting.
Yes, and it kind of makes me feel a bit of a kinship for Scotland because, hey, Canada and Scotland and Japan, we spell it the same way.
Yeah.
And we know that, probably the most known whiskey, well, I don't know if that's fair to say, is Scotch.
Most is Scotch, yeah, absolutely, yeah.
And
I think so. At least I do. And I oftentimes will say, "Oh, I'd get a bottle of Scotch," and sometimes it may not be Scotch. It may pick up a whiskey that isn't from Scotland. But
Right.
I think Scotch before I think whiskey. We named the channel Chasing Whiskey, not Chasing Scotch, because we want to be able to explore lots of different kinds of whiskeys from different regions. So we purposefully didn't use the word Scotch. But I oftentimes will call it Scotch, much like the brand association with some of your things, right? You
Kleenex.
Buy a box of Kleenex, exactly. I don't even know if
And
I've ever
fun-
bought a box of Kleenex, but I've certainly bought, facial tissue, right? So
fun fact, the EY is used in the US and in Ireland.
okay.
Yes.
And what about the other regions? Is it just variable, or is it
That is the
indecisive, or
extent
of your
limitation
research?
of my knowledge.
That's okay. Well, that's really interesting. It's actually interesting to know.
Okay.
So I have a question. So what do we need to know for next week?
Oh, that's a good question.
'Cause this was very
well, you know
purposeful.
what? Because we forgot the glasses, I think we could actually do a little research on what is proper glasses
Okay.
and maybe show a proper glass.
Yeah, okay.
And
What if I don't have it? Then we have to go buy a proper glass? I mean,
I
I think there's different types. So why don't I do some research on the different types and why?
and you can buy a bunch of them.
I can, okay. And you can buy the bottle.
Okay.
Fair
Well,
enough.
actually, it's my turn because one of us has to buy it,
There you go.
and that way you won't know the price
Okay,
when you do the review.
good. I think that works.
And I think we should also end the episode with a tip.
Okay.
So, what's your tip for our new?
My first tip would be get your tips from someone else because we don't know much yet. That would be my first
That
tip.
hurts.
Well, I think it's honest and candid, to be quite honest. We don't know much, but we're going to learn, and stick around if you want to learn a little more. I think people say like and subscribe, whatever that, do that thing.
Hammer that button.
Yeah, that's a good
Or
one.
don't.
Yeah, whatever.
We're gonna be here.
Drinking whiskey regardless. We didn't really need 2020 as a reason to actually start drinking. We needed 2020 as an excuse to film us drinking. Really, let's be
Yeah, it's
honest.
fun.
Oh, we didn't do? Cheers.
Cheers.